sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver Common Sense Show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. And I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to go to and watch a live broadcast, go to Reaver.one, click on the live screen. I'll be delivering news, political commentary, and when I can, a guest or two. So, how is everybody? Stayed up late last night trying to see what the Missouri results were going to be. It looks like it's going to go to Trump with the win, but it's basically a tie. It's a pretty good night for Trump and Hillary. Kasich won Ohio. Trump dominated Florida. And what is it? He got 4 out of the 5 states, plus Guam, which is 9 delegates. No big deal, but he walked out. It was like 200 plus. As of right now, he's 200 plus ahead of Cruz. There's still some delegates that I'm trying to think and type at the same time, and my blonde hair is really kicking in. I got Dan the Man Butcher in the chat room for a couple minutes and was answering him real quick. So yeah, it turned out to be a pretty good night. Let me see if I can pull those results up. As of right now, Cruz is at 406 and Trump is at 661. So he pulled ahead 200 plus points. Seemed like a pretty good night for hearing some noise behind me and trying to figure out what it is. Yeah, let's see. Illinois, Missouri, North Carolina, and Florida, Trump won, plus Guam. They still have to break down everything, but as of right now, Trump won 49 delegates in Illinois, 9 to Cruz, 4 to Kasich. Of course, Florida was a winner take all, 99. Missouri, out of the 52 delegates, right now, 15 have gone to Trump, and the rest have not been divvied up yet. North Carolina, Trump won with 29 delegates. Ted Cruz has 27. And, of course, Ohio won 2, Kasich, with a total of 66. Brain fart. Someone did Fox News and Megyn Kelly and some couple others were talking about how Trump cannot make the 1237. Now Eric Bolling did the math because they were saying Trump would need 60% of the votes. One said 60. Dana Lash said 60, I think it was. And Megyn Kelly said he needed over 50% of the vote. Now, a couple people started doing the math and looking at certain areas. And even just the Northeast corridor, there's still several states up for grabs. I don't think Cruz is going to win in the tri-state area. And for those that don't know, tri-state is the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania area. Cruz's little comment of the New York values has ticked off a lot of people around that area. There has been I don't have the exact figures, but it's a large amount of people have switched from Democrat to Republican in the state of Pennsylvania. New Jersey, that one's going to be, I'm pretty sure, Trump. I know some people were mad at Trump with how some things went down in Atlantic City, but for the most part, Trump did give a huge boost to the state of New Jersey, and the death of Atlantic City is not any of the owners' fault. It's not Trump's fault for the death of Atlantic City. When they allowed all these Indian reservations to start putting casinos there, that is what killed Atlantic City. Because you had in Philadelphia, they started popping up. In New York City, they started popping up. So why should I drive 3, 4 hours, 2 hours to go to Atlantic City when I can drive maybe 15, 20 minutes to do the same type of gambling? So that's what's hurting Atlantic City. But Trump has done a lot for New Jersey and has done a lot for Atlantic City. The rebuilding of the Atlantic City Convention Hall was done by Trump. I think he could pull out the win. I know Kasich is more Democrat, but he doesn't have the name recognition that Trump has when it comes to New York, New Jersey, and Philadelphia. I know those 3 states will not give him the 1237, but when you start adding up some of the other, he can easily, and Eric Bolling, I also said, came up with the number, he needs 47% of the vote, and now to put him at like 1250. He could very easily get to the 1237 and beyond, and there's a couple people that were crunching numbers, which no, thank you. That's not my gig. They think not only is he going to reach that number, that he can go 200 delegates over. And once he hits the 1237, this race is over. Last night was, if he would have nailed Ohio too, everybody would have been saying, well, no, I don't want to say that because Fox was sitting there saying, well, if he would have won Ohio, we would be talking how it's over. And then someone else is like, well, if he would have pulled everything but Ohio, it would still be over. He pulls everything. It's showing that. And they're still saying how he can't get there. And if they think they got a fair and balanced reporting going on, I'm sorry. Dana Lash, and I don't know her personally. I have nothing against her. She has a right to support who she wants. But she is so anti-Trump, it's not even funny. She hates Trump with a passion. Whatever. If she wants to, go ahead. But trying to give a fair and balanced, I'm trying to put it nicely, besides the way I talk around when we have the conversation with my wife or my parents. I use some different language, but I'm not knocking her, but she's almost as bad as Glenn Beck. And it's funny because I'm seeing more and more people complain lately about Ted Cruz supporters because they're getting really whiny right now. Really, not all of them. This is not meant for all of them. I will not lump them all together because I do know some Cruz supporters that are respectful. And I have no problem, and I've said it many times, I've written about it. Yesterday, before I went, or after I voted during the primaries, after I voted, I wrote, get out, vote. I don't care who you vote for. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I don't want you to listen to Fox. I don't want you to listen to CNN. I don't want you to listen to MSNBC, One American News, any of them. I don't want you to listen to them. I want you to listen to who you want. If you want Cruz, go vote for him. I am not supporting him, but go vote for him because that is the right person for you. If you are picking him because that's who you want, do not pick him because the establishment is pushing certain candidates on you. Don't go and pick him because MSNBC tells you to. CNN. Vote who you want to, and that will always be the correct candidate for you to vote for. Win, lose, draw, that will be the correct vote. Don't let anyone ever tell you it's a wasted vote. Telling you it's a wasted vote is trying to bully you into voting for someone that you do not want. And as much as I think you should vote no matter what, even if you do not want to vote, that is your right. But the other issues that are going on, and I've seen this between Democrats and Republicans, but I haven't seen it this nasty of Republican on Republican. And to be honest, I don't know if I could vote for Cruz after what has been thrown my way by Cruz supporters and even Cruz's comments. And don't tell me he didn't insult us, because he did insult all Trump supporters. He insulted me when he made the comment about New York values. I know, I'm not from New York. But when you talk about New York values, the way I wrote about it, I think it was last night. New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania are like the brothers and sisters. They'll fight within themselves. Someone else comes along and picks on one of them. Well, you're picking on all three then. Vote for who you want. Support who you want. Putting down other people because they do not agree with you is not the American way. Belittling, insulting people because they're not voting who you want, who you support, is not the American way. The American way is everyone has the right to pick who they want with no force being given to them. No coercion. Coercion. Even belittling, insulting is strong arm tactics without the physical contact. And that's what you're trying to do when you insult and belittle people. And this is for all of Americans. This isn't to Cruz supporters. This is to all Americans. Not only are we stripping each other away politically, have a political divide. That wedge that our government have been putting in between us is growing and intensifying every day. And every day we go apart from each other and let that wedge go deeper in between us. It is more time for our government to do whatever they want. If we're too busy fighting each other, and I don't say we have to agree 100% because no one should be agreeing 100%. That's blind following. You can have differences and still get along, but the ones we should be fighting are our politicians. Democrat, Republican, Independent, I don't care, Libertarian, I don't care what party they're with. We, the people, should have them running scared. And if you don't think it can be done, look at the Republican Party right now. The upper echelon, the elite, the money men, whatever term you want to use, they are running scared because we are not listening to them. And no, this is not also the same thing that's going on with Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is pushing everything America is for. He is pushing the opposite onto us. That's what he is indoctrinating these kids with. And I'm not going to bash him because, yes, they do have some inexperience in life. But we were all there at one time. And with that, it is that time for a little break. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com. We'll be right back.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying calf for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show.
I don't want to be me. I don't want to be me anymore.
Just go to Reaver.1. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I don't understand this on the green screen. I got a gray shirt on and, I'm getting little speckles on me. Still working out some of the bugs with the green screen, but welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a live stream, go to Reaver.1. Click on the live stream button. And there you go. We make it as simple and easy as possible. So, I've been saying for a while, vote for whoever you want. That is your best candidate. The candidate that you want to vote for is always the best candidate. Trying to find, because I don't feel like dragging through my website, but there is a bunch of quotes on there. And trying to find a quote because it fits our time perfectly. Let me try different. All right. Well, it's not going to work. So I got to do a long search. The GOP, and this is a perfect example, we have shown that they are vulnerable. We have shown it. The GOP is not driving the boat right now. The people are more in control of the GOP right now. And that is what scares the living daylights out of them. We have a political revolution going on right now, people. And it scares the living daylights out of any and all politicians. Because it's not them that are in control. It is us. And we must remember... found it. Now, more than ever before, the people are responsible for the character of their Congress. If that body be ignorant, reckless, and corrupt, it is because the people tolerate ignorance, recklessness, and corruption. If it be intelligent, brave, and pure, it is because the people demand these high qualities to represent them in the national legislature. If the next century does not find us a great nation, it will be because those who represent the enterprise, the culture, and the morality of the nation do not aid in controlling the political forces. That was James Garfield, and that, I think, fits our time perfect. The GOP establishment has soaked the place in kerosene, and all Donald Trump did was light a match. Veteran GOP strategist Mark McKinnon told Breitbart News Daily that the rise of Donald Trump in the 2016 election reflects the fact that for years the Republican Party has had no clear vision of the future. The GOP establishment has said, or he said, soak the place in kerosene. All Donald Trump did was light a match. And in this election, the Republicans are just going to have to burn the house down and rebuild it. McKinnon is the co-creator, co-executive producer, and co-host of the Showtime docuseries The Circus, which chronicles the 2016 presidential race. He spoke with Sirius XM host and Breitbart News executive chairman Stephen K. Bannon about a scene in the episode called The Reckoning, showing a group of 6 GOP establishment figures gathered at a private dinner to lament the rise of Donald Trump and discuss what can be done to defeat him. McKinnon said this particular scene has lit up the boards like no other scene we've done the whole season. And actually, if you want to see that, you can go to Reaver.one. I do have that posted. Before I even was going to do this article, I had it posted because it is absolutely disgusting listening to these 6 guys talk. And he goes down that a couple of weeks ago we said, let's go find the establishment. What's left of the establishment? It turns out there are 6 guys who are left, McKinnon joked. Old white war horses. It's literally like a smoke-filled room out of something like Tammany Hall. Tamnimony. At least I don't have the tongue twisters I was having yesterday. It sounded like you were dropping into a mafia Don mob boss meeting. From the candidate conversation among the 6 men, a couple things were clear. First of all, there really is no coherent establishment, and to the extent that there is an establishment, they have no clue how to deal with Donald Trump. You look at the scene, and it's pretty much an ad for Donald Trump. The Trump people see that and say, well, that's exactly why we're supporting Donald Trump. It was remarked on how shocking it was that despite having access to the commentary, the consultants and the K Street lobbyists, and the massive donor money that all comprise the establishment apparatus, these figures still had no cohesive plan to counter a populist uprising. McKinnon agreed that there was no coherent notion at all about what to do. In fact, there was very divergent notions, he explained. A couple of them were saying we're part of the RNC and will ultimately support the nominee. A couple of them were saying we're making anti-Trump PAC ads. And a couple of them even said, listen, if it's Donald Trump, then we may have to look at supporting Hillary Clinton. Couple of them said, listen, if it's Donald Trump, then we may have to look at supporting Hillary Clinton. And that is supposed to be the upper echelon of the GOP party. Bannon noted that the key populist issues involving trade agreement and immigration that have animated voters in this election cycle were not even in the top 100 on the establishment's radar. How did they miss it so badly? These are not dumb people. They are very smart people. How did they miss it so badly? McKinnon recalled that one of the establishment figures in the scene admitted that Trump had better finger on the pulse of what the American voters wanted than any of the six of them in that room. The one thing I've said from the very beginning of this election is that it's very likely that the Republicans are going to have to burn the house down and rebuild it. And you know, they soaked the place in kerosene. All Donald Trump did was light a match, and the place is going up in flames. The Republican Party, not just for this election cycle, but for a long time, has had no clear vision of the future. And occasionally, democracy rises up and takes a hold of the reins. And that's what's happening in this election. The voters are saying, listen, you guys do not have a clue, so we're going to give you one. Bannon commented on the Shakespearean quality of this election cycle. We have talked about earlier today the Idols of March and the killing of Caesar 2,060 years ago. This race is almost Shakespearean in its presentation. You have the Bushes, you have the Clintons, you have almost like these King Lear types. You have Obama, you have the Pope, and you have Trump, and you have Senator Ted Cruz. Even the side characters in the commentary, it's so fascinating. You know the Black Lives Matter guys? We're talking about the Black Panther over the weekend on the weekend show. You know, Angela Davis is now being talked about. It's brought in so many modern political history. But have you ever seen a race like this that just has the cast of characters? And the stakes, you know, American sovereignty versus the globalists, this populist uprising versus the limited government conservatism. Have you ever seen the issues and the personalities come together in really kind of a Shakespearean way? The Shakespearean analogy is a terrific one, and I may steal that from you, McKinnon said. We're trying to think of a name for the next show. I think we'll find some Shakespearean analogy to throw up there. We've just got really lucky that we chose this election to do this show. People are really fascinated by what's happening because there is this huge drama. There is a sense that there is a real revolution going on. And you know, Trump is a big part of that. Bernie Sanders is a big part of that. We are seeing a complete upheaval, and people are fascinated to watch it and say, what comes next? What's going to come out of all this chaos and uprising? Careful what you wish for, because it may not be good. It may not be good. These supposed upper echelon, these establishment, it was mentioned in the article that they're not stupid people. They're very smart. No, they're not. When it comes to common sense, they have none. Common sense would have told them a long time ago, there's a huge problem within the party. Common sense tells you these people do not give a shit about the party. They don't give a shit about the people. Common sense says they're out for themselves. And yes, these are the people in the GOP. And you're going to have the Democrats, don't look at that. Yeah. Don't throw stones when you live in a glass house. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on HPPundit.com and SHRmedia.com. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half was stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show,
I don't want to be me. I don't want to be anymore.
just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. And I'm telling you, I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless, but some days it seems like it's never going to happen. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a live broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream button. It seems like Hillary Clinton's not having a happy time lately, and she has a bad habit of sticking her foot right in her mouth. Democrat town hall, Hillary Clinton says more gun control is the answer to gang-related gun violence. Even saying that hurts my head. During the March 13th CNN Democratic town hall in Ohio, Hillary responded to a question about gang-related gun violence by pushing stricter gun control for law-abiding citizens. She was responding to comments from questioner Vashida Johnson, who talked about a 7-year-old boy being killed and his 5-year-old and 4-year-old siblings being wounded in a gang-related attack. The questioner was clear. This incident was actually a gang-related retaliation shooting. She also mentioned a shooting in which another 5-year-old was shot while lying in his bed. Then asked, what programs would you implement in poverty-stricken communities in this country in an effort to decrease this type of violence? Clinton then responded to the question of gang-related violence in the same way she has responded to any question about guns throughout this campaign. She went into her little memory block, pulled out tape 101 gun control, popped it in, and she claimed 90 people a day are killed by guns in our country. A shocking number for those killed are children. We need comprehensive background check. The same type of background checks that they have in California, Colorado, and Paris, and called for cracking down on makers and sellers of guns. So legal businesses need to be cracked down on because people break the law. So I guess we should shut down ERs and pharmacies because people abuse those drugs. She says gun makers have to be held accountable for the use of their product. Then Ford, Chevy, Toyota, so forth and so on, need to be held accountable for their product. And when someone drives drunk, they need to be held responsible for that. Oh, no. I know. It's different. That's not the same thing. Yeah, it is. A few points need to be made here. Number one, it was reported previously that Clinton claims that 90 people are killed by guns in America is baseless. She adds suicides into gun violence to swell firearm-related deaths by 66%. Out of that 90, 30 people are murdered by guns. And I'm rounding off numbers. 60 of those people kill themselves, suicide by gun. And one way or another, if they're that determined, it does not matter whether it's by gun, rope, poison, stepping out in front of a car, attacking a police officer. They're going to find a way to get themselves killed. So you can take that 60 people a day and take that out of your equation. 30 is still a very high number. But nowhere near the 90 number she keeps falsely claiming. And there's people that blindly, oh, she said it's 90! Duh. Sorry, that's how they sound when they go spewing this stuff. And anybody that's listened to my show for a while now knows I am very adamant about the Second Amendment. This opens the door for her to talk about 33,000 Americans killed by guns each year, as she did the other Sunday night, instead of looking at the appropriate 10,000 to 11,000 Americans killed annually via firearm-related aggression. Much of which is the kind of gang-related violence witnessed in Chicago's and other cities with strict gun control. On top of this, Clinton pushes ICAL for comprehensive background checks, which are the very checks that are already in place in California, Colorado, and Paris, the location of the most high-profile mass shootings and or shooting sprees that occurred October through December of 2015. 3 were shot and killed on Halloween Day in 2015 in Colorado Springs. 130 were shot and killed during the terrorist attacks in Paris on November 13th. 3 were shot and killed at a Planned Parenthood in Colorado Springs on November 27th. And 14 were shot and killed in San Bernardino on December 2nd. Comprehensive backgrounds were not even a hindrance to these attacks. And Clinton suggests that we should hold gun manufacturers and sellers liable for the criminal misuse of their products is simply a receipt for eliminating gun manufacturers and sellers in America. How long would a knife maker last if held liable for criminal misuse of their product? How long would a hammer maker, baseball bat manufacturer, or car company last? This is why Democrat presidential hopeful Bernie Sanders warned of the dangers of Clinton's approach during the previous Democrat debate, when he said that if we start going after gun companies whose products are sold to a person who buys it legally, what you're really talking about is ending gun manufacturing in America. Well, that didn't end her reign of stupidity. And I know probably everybody has seen and heard this. Hillary claimed that Bernie was absent on the health care issue when she was pushing it, when she was trying to get it through in 1993 and 1994. And where was he? Bernie was nowhere around. Where was he? Well, he was literally standing behind her in 1993 and 1994 during those press conferences on healthcare. There is photos of her and video of her speaking about pushing a healthcare reform, and Bernie Sanders was standing literally behind her. Is this woman gone that bat crap crazy? Do they not research this stuff before they write these kinds of speeches for her to run off at the mouth? Only to find out that he was literally standing right behind her. Oh, and she was not done there. Oh, no. She was not done there. She then turned around and told a group of people, we are going to put a lot of coal miners and coal companies out of business. The Democrats have been hammering the coal industry for years, but it's not every day that a candidate president explicitly tells the working men and women who help to keep our lights on that she wants to put them out of work. And that is exactly what Hillary Clinton did at a recent campaign in Ohio. We're going to wait a minute, let me back it up. Quote, we are going to put a lot of coal miners and coal companies out of business, unquote. She told an audience in Columbus. Although a President Hillary Clinton would throw coal miners out of work, she went on to explain that while she wants to move away from fossil fuel, she doesn't want to move away from the people. I suppose Ohio's coal miners can take solace in the fact that although Hillary plans on putting them out of a job, she doesn't plan on forgetting them. And you would think that would be enough of stupidity comments out of her mouth. Nope. The next one shows her incompetency and why she should not be even running for president. She should not be a candidate in the primaries. She is against the Constitution. She can't remember when someone was helping her and supporting her push a bill through. She's literally saying that she's going to throw thousands upon thousands of people out of work for no reason. And now, quote from Mrs. Hillary Clinton, we did not lose a single person in Libya. And I guess she's right. We did not lose a single person. We lost 4. Democrat presidential frontrunner Hillary Clinton argued late Monday that U.S. involvement in disposing Libya leader Muammar Gaddafi had not cost any American lives. Libya was a different kind of calculation, she said, of military involvement there in the 2011 compared with current efforts in Syria during MSNBC's town hall in Springfield, Illinois. We did not lose a single person, added Clinton, who was Secretary of State at the time. We did not have a problem in supporting our European and Arab allies and working with NATO. We've got to continue to support the Libyan people to give them a chance, because otherwise you see what happened in Syria, with the consequences of millions of people flooding out of Syria, with more than 250,000 people killed, with terrorist groups like ISIS taking up almost huge blocks of territory, as big as some of the states in that area. Clinton also charged that the U.S. owed its foreign allies after their cooperation in the invasion of Afghanistan. If the United States is supposed to say, you know what, that's not our problem, then they would come to us and say, yes, Afghanistan wasn't our problem either. It seems to be that the Democrat supporters do not give they don't care. They don't care, and they're blindly following. Because if I heard a week or 2 weeks like Clinton has had, I'd be running from that candidate full bore. When she turns around and she can't remember someone that was helping her and standing right there with her, and she can't remember it. When she can't remember that she got 4 people murdered, something's not right. Something mentally is not right with her. She has, since the time she's come to Washington, been a liar. She sat on the Watergate committee. She was tossed off of that committee by Democrats for ethical violations. You can see how far the Democrat Party has fallen from her being thrown off a committee to her running the party. I know she's not the DNC. I know, but you're missing my point. If she is the nominee for president on the Democrat side, she will be the one running the party. Not only will she be crashing that party bus, she'll be crashing the bus of America. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense, trying to make sense out of the senseless, right here on HPPundit.com and RebootingLiberty.com. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver Common Sense Show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show,
I don't want to be me. I don't want to be anymore.
just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. All right. Ouch. Owie. This just bit me. All right. I was talking to Kel in the chat room during the break, and she was asking a question, and it wasn't from her. She said some idiot pundits are already talking about the chances, and that there will be riots if Trump gets the nod to represent the GOP. I was going to bring this point up earlier, but I decided, Trump won and won big last night, and I'm not a person that loves to rub things in people's noses. But if Illinois, as we saw Friday night, hates Trump so bad, if they hate him so bad, why did he win Illinois last night? And I don't want, Kelly, it wasn't meant towards you, sweetie. It wasn't meant towards you. But it is just, in general, when these pundits, these people talk about it and how it's only Trump. Well, they're starting on Cruz. They're starting on Kasich. And they even tried to start on Rubio last night during his exit speech. He was gracious, and I also want to, I was not a Rubio supporter. But when he stood up there to speak, he was respectful. He like he said, he wanted to call Trump and congratulate him. He was being honorable, and the crowd started booing about Trump, and he stopped them, and he said, this is what our country is about. The people of the state of Florida have spoken. I am going to give Rubio every credit. He was gracious. He did take a couple little swipes toward the end, but for the most part, he was gracious when he spoke about bowing out and spoke about Trump. What I found really funny was Cruz and his speech. You would think that he won every state. I'm sorry, I don't care if you got a couple candidates out, because he wasn't talking candidates when he's won the states. When he wins the states, stop the world. Look what I did. I've won. Mom, look, Mom, look. And that's what he acts like. He acts like a little kid. But when he loses a state, it's, I didn't lose. I won. Still, I won. And and on a side note, me and my dad, I was over at my parents yesterday, because I had to run over there, I took him to vote. And we came back and we had Fox News on just for a couple minutes. Me and my dad wanted to have a chuckle. And they were talking, Rubio was up there talking how he doesn't believe in the polls. The polls are wrong. The polls are this. The polls are that. I looked at that. I said, have you ever noticed the people that talk about polls, that they don't matter and that they don't reflect on the real people? My dad goes, yeah, those are the ones that are losing. I was like, damn it, you beat me to the punchline. Because have you ever noticed that? Now, I've caught myself doing it too. Yeah, I've caught myself doing it. When your candidate or something what you're doing, you're running behind, you blame it down. They're not. No. Oh, wow, I had the wrong green screen up. I just noticed that. I got everything backwards on it. That's a little embarrassing. I just noticed it. Let me see something. I think I have something. No, I didn't. I didn't have it backwards. When I'm looking at these screens, for some reason, everything comes reverse and all this on my screens, and it's confusing sometimes when I look. Yeah, the polls aren't 100%. They're not the end-all, be-all. If they were, we wouldn't have to have elections. But they had double-digit lead for Trump in Florida. He won by, I think, 18%. He just didn't win. He decimated in Florida. Cruz did not win a single state last night. And there's people, oh, it was a good night for Cruz. It was a great night for Cruz. He didn't lose. Well, yeah, he did. He didn't win. He did not have a good night. I find it funny when they act like that. Oh, no. All right, well, North Korea has threatened hydrogen bomb attacks on Manhattan. In a state-controlled outlet, the North Korean government threatened Sunday to use its new alleged hydrogen bomb technology to reduce Manhattan, New York to rubble, warning that its nuclear weapon is much bigger than the Soviet weaponry. That I like how they had it. It's much bigger than the Soviets. It's not the size of the weapon. Come on. It seems like if North Korea is not getting any attention, it's like that pestilent little brat in the corner that throws the hissy fit. And it's not the first time we've watched North Korea do it. When Iran was getting too much press, and everything was talking about Iran, North Korea started jumping up and down. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Started firing off bottle rockets. Look at me, we're launching missiles. They are the little kid in the corner that's not getting the attention. We're talking, stuff within the European Union. We're talking about stuff in America. And they're not getting any press. So little Kim Jong-un or whatever the hell his name is. And I knew I was doing this bit and I was going to get a soundbite from the Sackett show. Because Sackett Sean, the way he does like this impression, I don't know if it's dead on, but it's funny as hell, of the Kim Jong-un. Hello. I can't do it anywhere near it, but I was going to get a soundbite, and I kind of forgot. But, and I love it. It's much bigger than the Soviet weaponry. The Washington Post has translated part of the article in DPRK Today, a publication rarely used for the purpose of military bluster, when North Korean officials seek to announce military development or threaten other countries. It usually turns to the state-run Korea Central News Agency. Both outlets have online English version, making them more accessible to international media. The DPRK Today article run with the byline, and allegedly a North Korean nuclear scientist warns our hydrogen bomb is much bigger than the one developed by the Soviet Union. It muses if this H-bomb were to be mounted on an ICB missile. Sorry, getting text from my wife. And fall on Manhattan and New York City, all the people there would be killed immediately, and the city would burn down to ashes. It just... How... It's a little kid. And then my missile is bigger than your missile. Come on. Do they actually think anybody's going to be... Oh, my God. Stop. Oh, shit. Shh. Sorry, North Korea. We didn't know. Oh, I'm sorry. We're sorry. We didn't know you had that. It's like that little kid in class that, I know I'm a black belt in karate. You better watch out. Oh, God. Someone watched too many movies. I mean, seriously. Damn. Wife getting chatty. There we go. The KCNA did run a nuclear threat article this weekend, but it did not specifically target the United States. Instead, KCNA threatened a preemptive retaliatory strike against the United States and South Korea for joint military drills being held at the border. The drill, named Key Resolve and Full Eagle, features 300,000 troops engaged in simulation exercises in which they are to practice invasion of Pyongyang, ting tang ping tang, wow wow wow, and restoration of stability after the fall of Kim Jong-un. Good God, y'all. Over 27,000 U.S. imperialistic aggressors troops deployed in South Korea are within firing range of our merciless, ultra-modern strike means of the DPRK. They got a new model rocket, and they got matches finally for the model rocket. They even have a new GPS tracking on their missiles. We have tied their string to where we want it to go. Oh no, bottle rockets incoming. What will I do? I mean, seriously, do they expect us? For number one, every time we run these drills on the border, every time we do a military drill with South Korea, they make these accusations. Every time. Do they honestly think we're going to back down from them? Do they honestly think we take them seriously? Oh my God. We got the merciless, ultra-modern strike means. I could just see like a Dr. Evil sitting there. We got a merciless, ultra-modern strike. What do they want? $1 million? Give me $1 billion or I will send this ultra-merciless bottle rocket your way. It might take your eye out. Come on. Seriously? I really would like to know who thinks this stuff up on the North Korean side. Well, this will make them scared. We're going to tell them we got a huge H-bomb. We're going to tell them it's bigger than what the Russians have. That'll put fear in their heart. They fear the Russians. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Hold on, I got to get the order of chicken and broccoli out. Come on. South Korean president vowed Monday to sternly and strongly deal with North Korea. I could just see the president of South Korea sitting at the border just waggling his finger. Don't you do that! What the frick is he going to do? In remarks last week, United States State Department spokesman John Kirby also condemned the recent string of belligerent behavior out of Kim Jong, warning the director Kim Jong-un away from provocative rhetoric. Don't you say that, or I'll have to come out here and tell you, don't say that again. just all around, it's a bunch of chest beating, I want attention, idiocy. Really, you should just ignore, like you would a child, ignore North Korea. Just turn their back. Oh, there's someone talking shit. All right. Hey, how's it going? Just freaking ignore them. Don't give them the attention that they want. Yeah, seriously, it's like a little kid. Oh, my God. I'm not getting any attention, though. I'm going to throw a tantrum. But just remember, you're listening to Reaver Common Sense. Right here on hbpundit.com and shrmedia.com. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver Common Sense Show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show,
I don't want to be me. I don't want to be anymore.
just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I am trying to make sense out of the senseless, but when you have comments like North Korea, you can't make sense out of that. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to be part of the conversation, just go to shrmedia.com, click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to watch a live stream, go to Reaver.one. Kel was telling me in Toronto last week, there was a Muslim running around stabbing soldiers at a recruiting center. He told authorities Allah told him to kill people, and his parents say, guess what they said? I bet nobody can guess what his parents said. No, except Kel. She knows. She's the one that told me. That he is mentally ill. So I also just read that, let me quote it correctly, because Florida, some people are being a little idiocy. Coming from Florida Governor Rick Scott, with his victory yesterday, I believe it is now time for Republicans to accept and respect the will of the voters and coalesce behind Donald Trump. And of course, you still have people that they'd rather name call than have a discussion. They'd rather name call and belittle and act like liberals than just not say anything. And it gets a little tiresome with the I don't understand it. It's not even that. Well, my mama told me if you can't say anything, don't say anything nice. No. I have bitched and moaned for 7 years the way liberals have acted. I have bitched and moaned at the name-calling liberals do. The belittling. So why am I going to accept it from Republicans? That's the funny part. They are acting exactly a way, or I say how, liberals are acting. And they think it's perfectly acceptable. But then if they see a liberal acting that way, they'll attack the liberal. I love how they're trying to twist religion to try to back up their thinking. And I'm not attacking religion, but don't use religion to try to justify what you're thinking or your way of thinking. And I love it. Well, God's plan is for Cruz to win. God's plan. Well, what if Trump wins? Oh, that's Satan. Really? I can't understand the thinking. Just because it doesn't go along with what you're thinking, it's automatically evil. It's Satan. Just because it doesn't fall in line with you. If you want a candidate, stand by your candidate. You don't need to come up with all these extravagant ideas. Donald Trump may skip Utah debate for pro-Israel AIPAC conference. A tweet claims Donald Trump's time slot for speaking at the conference will give him a reason to skip the next Republican debate in Utah. Really? We've had enough debates. Seriously, what more can we say about or hear from each candidate? Their attacks on Trump during debates aren't working. Having these candidates spew the same crap that they've spewed for the last several months, it's not going to do anything. There's been too many damn debates. Seriously. I haven't even watched, and I know it's bad for what I do on this show. I really haven't even watched the last several debates. I may click on it for a couple minutes. I don't know why I just started yawning, besides the fact I'm tired. But I really haven't watched. They've been boring. We've had enough of them. What are we on, like 3,432 for this year? But from the Hill, Donald Trump will miss the final Republican presidential debate to address a major pro-Israel lobbying organization instead, according to an insider. Hearing that Trump secured a Monday night speaking slot at the conference in D.C., tweeted Noah Polak, executive director of Emergency Committee for Israel, referencing the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. Also happening that night, the Republican debate in Salt Lake City, he added, alluding to the 13th GOP presidential contest on March 21st. You know what? I'd rather see him go to that than to do another debate. Really. They're going to try to make it a bash on Trump debate now. But it's going to become real boring when you just have Kasich and Cruz to sit there and yammer on instead of talking about what they would do as a president. So kudos for Trump. I would love to see Cruz and Kasich say, you know what? Nah, we're not going to do it. We're done. This next one just pisses me off. 124 released criminal aliens later charged with murder. Criminal aliens the government released rather than deported went on to be charged with 124 homicides within a 5-year time frame, according to a new analysis of ICE data. ICE data obtained by the Senate Judiciary Committee and analyzed by Center for Immigration Study expert Jessica reveal criminal aliens released from custody following convictions of hundreds of crimes went on to be charged with more crimes from 2010 to 2015. The criminal aliens released by ICE in these years, who had already been convicted of thousands of crimes, are responsible for a significant crime spree in the American community, including 124 new homicides. And especially, ICE is choosing to release some criminal aliens multiple times. CIS Director of Policy Studies wrote in her analysis, noted that prior to their release, the criminal aliens had at least 464 criminal convictions. It was further that the analysis revealed that since 2013, at least 156 criminal aliens were released twice by ICE. Prior to the first release, the aliens had been convicted of at least 1,776 crimes. What would have happened to a U.S. citizen? They wouldn't have been released. We are treating a group of people, a group of criminals, as if they are a better class than American citizens. And it's funny because when you look at Trump talking about the deportation of illegal immigrants, everybody immediately, he wants to do away with all immigrants. No, he doesn't. There is a big difference, a huge difference between an immigrant and an illegal criminal alien. There's a huge difference. An immigrant, I welcome them to our country. They came here through the proper channels. It's a long, long way. These people broke our laws that are already some of the most relaxed immigration laws. They broke our laws. Just as if I went into Canada, and I did not go the proper way, I would be an illegal alien. I will have broken laws. If I go into Mexico without crossing the border properly, I am in there illegally. And holy shnikes, what they will do to me in Mexico for coming into their country illegally. But too many times, we are now hearing mainstream media, and that's Fox, CNN, MSNBC, all of them, and they lump immigrants and illegal immigrants. They lump them together, and they're not. Well, they just want a better living. So does the person that goes and robs a bank, robs a convenience store, mugs a woman. They want a better life. That does not mean we should excuse their crimes. And giving these people citizenships or a pathway to citizenships is rewarding them for breaking the law. Well, we're going to look at their background, and we're going to see if they're criminals. And if they have any criminal past, they're going to get tossed from the country. They are all criminals. They came into this country illegally. And they're like, well, we're a melting pot. Your relatives came to this country. Yes, and they came here legally. My relatives came into Ellis Island of Philadelphia. Yes, there was. I didn't even know it until I was doing some family research and found out it's in Ellis Island of Philadelphia. Well, just like in New York, you come to a central point. You fill out paperwork. They make sure you're healthy. And then you're welcomed into the country. So don't use our past. And don't use, well, we stole this property anyway. Yeah, and so the American Indians, they stole it from each other. In fact, they murdered each other for each other's tribal grounds. They're not even native from here. They're from Asia. I hate that argument because there's so many holes in it. Did America mistreat the American Indians? Yes. I'm not going to. We mistreated Irish people. We mistreated Asian people. God, nobody was special. Everybody got mistreated. Damn, I get mistreated nowadays too. So, and yes, there is no white privilege. It's an excuse for people to go around doing whatever they want while putting blame on other people. Drives me up a wall. This article is talking about these people that got it released multiple times after being caught for criminal offenses. We have federal agencies that are not doing their job because we have a president that is picking and choosing what laws he wants to enforce. Then everybody, well, why don't you like President Obama? Right, here's a big one. He picks and chooses. It is not, I swear to uphold whichever laws I feel fit. No. He is to enforce and uphold the laws of the United States of America, not pick and choose. Out of the 156 that ICE released at least twice, fewer than half, 67, were released because their home country would not take them back. 16 were released on bond by an immigration judge, and 73 were released by ICE's choice. Another alphabet soup agency that's failing to do its job. This sure as hell will clamp down on us Americans real quick. The citizens, they'll clamp down on us. Step out of line. Whew. Look at the Bundy incident. 2 years later. They're now arresting people because Obama was embarrassed. And no, don't tell me, well, they broke the law. Then why weren't they arrested right there? Why weren't they arrested a week, a month? These people did not go into hiding. They've been living out in the open. But we're going to bend over backwards for a bunch of criminal, illegal aliens. No people should have to live a fear of their government and then fear of criminals as their government helps them. And if you look at it, a great point was brought up by Crash on the phone, I think last week. These cities that set up sanctuary cities are criminal enterprises at that point. They are helping criminals from being caught. You have Princeton, New Jersey handing out pamphlets and telling criminals how to avoid being arrested by ICE. You have the police ignoring that there is laws being broken. That is the definition of a criminal enterprise. These sanctuary cities are aiding and abetting criminals. And since they are an organization, that is a criminal. I just used the word and it totally slipped out of my mind. I hate when that happens. Criminal enterprise. And these politicians that set up these sanctuary cities should be charged and convicted as such. They are not above the law. They are not royalty. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on shrmedia.com and hbpundit.com. We'll be right back.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver Common Sense Show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians.
You got a business. You didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Socko as as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show,
I don't want to be me. I don't want to be anymore.
just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. Remember the Jersey takeovers here? We have expanded it 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to be part of the conversation, just go to shrmedia.com, click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you would like to watch a live stream, just go to Reaver.one, click on live stream. You'll be taken right there. Now, also, I read a little bit right before I came online. Obama is supposed to be announcing his pick for the Supreme Court. We'll see how that battle goes. That is really going to point people in one direction or another. Because if the Republicans roll over anytime soon, that is going to strengthen Trump's position. Because it's those types of situations that Trump has been talking about and is what driving the people behind him. Now, Chicago cops have come out and they've said the anti-Trump mobs were more aggressive and destructive than reported. Anti-Trump mobs more aggressive and destructive than reported. And that's not just CNN or MSNBC. Fox was downplaying the protests. Well, not protesters, the rioters. The protests launched by militant leftists who shut down Donald Trump's Chicago rally were far more aggressive and destructive than reported. It seems the media aren't broadcasting footage of the debris being thrown across Harrison by Sanders and Hillary supporters at Trump fans. The officer wrote shortly after the canceled Trump event. And again, if people in Illinois, the Chicago hated Trump so much, why did he win Illinois? He won it by, I believe it was 8%. The officer who posted anonymously on the Second City Cop blog also noted the media did not report that protesters were running through parking lots and breaking windows of cars with Trump stickers on them, or that the department called out emergency incident teams to cope with the anti-Trump riot at the University of Illinois in Chicago. How about the fact that these lowlifes, if they had a political problem, that's fine, but they were blocking ambulances. They were blocking ambulances from getting to injured people. They were stopping ambulances from them getting to people who need medical attention. Right there, that is an offense that can be arrested, and those people should have been arrested immediately. Interfering with medical care, emergency medical care, in most states is a offense and can be arrested for. I know in New Jersey, it is such a serious offense that I watched a cop back down and leave the scene because he was closely getting ready to be arrested, because he was interfering in medical care. Those protesters, they weren't protesters. They blocked ambulances from getting to people who needed medical care. If you have an issue, that is fine. When you start blocking emergency medical care, when you start banging on my ambulance and denting it up, oh, I'm going to be one pissed off EMT. Because it's going to be my ass that gets in trouble for those dings. It's going to be my work that has to go into cleaning the rig. That ambulance had nothing to do with their protest. That ambulance had nothing to do with them being pissed off at the government. That ambulance was going to help someone who needed emergency medical care. What if it was and they didn't know one of their relatives that needed that emergency medical care? Oh, they would be hopping mad, screaming it was because they were black or some other excuse they would come up with. But they were the ones that were blocking an ambulance. Burns, Oregon, did you see anyone blocking ambulances from those protests? Did you see anyone destroying property? Did you see any fights? But the media and the left will jump all over Burns, Oregon protest. And they make excuses for the garbage during those anti-Trump protests. And I can't say it more enough because it pisses me off. They blocked an ambulance. Not one. I saw twice. 2 different ambulances they blocked. That is not protest. But the left prop these people up and put them on a pedestal. The same officer posted a second, much longer post to detail the failures of the police leaders to plan for and respond to the protest. The officers insisted there was pretty much zero in terms of unified command posts for the event, and that officers had no central command to report to or coordinate response from. Who wrote this plan? We've seen and heard reports that UIC was woefully unprepared for this. They had their own people and security inside. The Secret Service had a presence, but they're restricted to dignitary protection. The ISP had a squad there and CPD. So, where were the people geared up for a riot? For NATO, we had an entire strike force geared up and ready to go. We had the mounted unit up and running, tens of dozens of bikes. Did no one see this coming? The officers went on to insist that suddenly emptying the pavilion of Trump fans and putting a few thousand people out on the street as targets was a terrible decision. This decision led to many unnecessary confrontations between Trump fans and anarchist protesters, the officer said. It also led to unnecessary property damage. Now, during my EMS career, because the hours I work, I usually had time, a lot of time to do stuff, other things. So for the fun of it, I would work as a bouncer for bars. And the number one rule we had is if two people were fighting, you took the aggressor, you got him outside. You made him leave, and the other person you kept inside until the other person had left. Then you kick that person out, but you make sure he leaves in a safe manner. Because if you just throw both of them outside, they're going to continue their fight outside, and then you're responsible for that fight. I hope, too, Kelly's confrontation ends. This has nothing to do with Trump. These are the same people that were there for Ferguson, for Baltimore. It's a continuation, and it trails back to George Soros and the Democrats. These groups think it's funny to do this. And now it's coming back that the mayor told him to stand down. It seems these Democrats are telling the police to stand down and allowing these riots to ensue. But with that, that is going to be my show for today. And don't forget, today's Wednesday. I have Reaver After Dark at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right here on shrmedia.com will be the Reaver After Dark with the Jersey Boys. So I'll catch you tonight. And have a great day.